Hello and welcome, this is Pomman here of the Token Minorities, and today I'm going to be talking about the changes in RU over the last day. Honchkrow got banned by a unanimous council vote, and frankly, good riddance to it. It was one of the most broken Pokemon I think I've seen in RU this generation. Sharpedo was more broken, but I think that's probably the only one that immediately comes to mind. I mean, in fairness, I've not played RU as long as I would have liked to, but Honchkrow was absolutely ridiculous, and so in this video, after we get a game, I'm going to be outlining the reasons why it was banned and what that means for the tier. So I'll just pause it until we get a game. And we're back, and after waiting for a full 2 minutes, I've now remembered why I'm not going to be doing any RU Road to Top 10. This man has an interesting looking team. He's got an Executor, and that kind of makes me feel like it's a Sun balanced team, but it's really not, in all honesty. I feel like it should be with Executor, especially given that he does have Hariyama to try and take fire attacks as well. But Kloitza and no setter of the sun, aside from Diancie, which isn't a great sun setter anyway, makes me believe that it isn't. But anyway, Honchkrow was banned unanimously by the RU Council, and for really good reason. It had the power necessary to break through any defensive team. Like, the only two checks to it were Rhyperior and Alomomola. Alomomola is actually really quite easy to wear down due to the sheer number of things that it has to check and come in on, and things that can use Toxic on it. And Rhyperior has no reliable recovery and takes a ton from things like Superpower and any special coverage that Honchkrow might be running. Now, if that was just the case, Honchkrow probably would have been fine in the RU tier. I mean, we've got things like Exploud, Kloitza, Tyrantrum, Emboar, all these things that pretty much don't have switch-ins, but with the same set that could just destroy bulkier balanced teams. It also had Moxie Sucker Punch, meaning that Honchkrow is never a bad choice. In the Honchkrow meta, if I saw a team without a Honchkrow on it, I was wondering what someone was doing. They should not use a team without Honchkrow on it, because, frankly, there's no point. Honchkrow was just so good in all matchups that I could not see a reason for someone to not run Honchkrow at any given time. He's a Focus Sash Hooper, okay, so he's going to take my Choice Band. That's fine with me. Anyway, the Moxie Sucker Punch, at +1 Sucker Punch, destroys pretty much everything you'll find on an offensive team. The least offensive thing that you'll find on an offensive team is stuff like Mega Steelix and Seismitoad and things like that, which don't want to take things like +1 Brave Birds, and Mega Steelix gets 2-hit KO'd by coming in on Superpower twice. The first Superpower does about 60% or so to it. The second one isn't quite a 2-hit KO, it's something like 55%, but it means that Steelix can only switch in once, and then it can't switch in ever again, and this man has no more good switch in to Venusaur. Camerupt is not a fantastic Venusaur switch in because of the following Leaf Storm. Although he could try and pivot here into his... Nope. He wakes up here? Nope. Brilliant. Thank you. And Sludge Bomb will kill. Yes, it will. Offensive teams don't have the ability to deal with Honchkrow at all, in the same way that they didn't have the ability to deal with Sharpedo, because whatever could deal with it, it's not going to fit on an offensive team. and even defensively, like, it's still a fantastic wall breaker. The combination of priority plus moxie plus the sheer power it had just made it too much for the RU tier, which means that the RU tier can now evolve beyond its current state. And that is something I'm honestly really looking forward to, and I can't give away all the details, because I don't think I'm meant to make them public yet, but there is going to be a actual suspect test of a Pokemon in RU coming up in the upcoming days, I believe. A Pokemon, and yeah, a Pokemon, not a double suspect. Hint sarcasm. But I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to drastically change the environment in RU. I personally believe for the better as well, because you get to see what the meta would be like in a slightly different way, and it's going to be really interesting, and I'm going to enjoy laddering for Rex, which is something I don't think I've done in a while. Not ladder for Rex, I've done that recently, but enjoyed them. Because it's going to be such a new environment. But Honchkrow was holding the meta back, and honestly, the only reason that the suspect test hasn't already happened and is over is because Honchkrow dropped. Had Honchkrow stayed a percentage point higher in the UU usage stats last month, we would have already been in the middle of, if not at the end of, the suspect once the stats for the month came out. Which is unfortunate, but oh well, there's nothing we can really do about that. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. You'll be able to find out what the suspect will be just by watching the RU forums. What did you think of Honchkrow? Did you think it was not ban-worthy? If so, I'd like to hear your reasoning. I personally was very strongly in favour of a Honchkrow ban because of the reasons I've outlined. It was brilliant versus every playstyle with one set, and that's not even going into things like lore sets and things that had no switch-ins, like Special Honchkrow defeated all of the Honchkrow pseudo-checks that were making their way around. This is a rather short video, I know, but I don't think you want to see a full-on live where I just stumble over my words and try and remember I'm trying to talk about Honchkrow. So I will see you all next time with probably a suspect laddering video. So I wish you all the best of luck. See you all next time.